We can hang out.
Hang out a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We can do that. We got nothing else going on. It's only
Can't go anywhere because it's snowing.
It's snowing. Also, just remind everyone that it's still a pandemic out there.
Yeah. Yeah, we were watching the Biden speech last night, and it got to a point. It was like, okay, we're excited. Everybody's excited because we're right there with you. But there's a pandemic.
It's still a pandemic happening, people. But the difference is a lot more face masks than the other side.
The only ones who weren't were like little families that were sitting on top of cars.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
But everybody else that was like, except for these 2 teenagers that I saw that were kind of in the crowd, everybody was wearing face masks.
Yeah.
Because we believe in science.
Yeah, so how much Mike looks so much more relaxed than 2 weeks ago. I was just gonna ask how much relief is everyone feeling right now? Because it was like just such relief.
Yeah, well, even a week ago, it just didn't feel like I was. I had been. I'm a political junkie. Liz can tell you. That it's like Tuesday. It was I had my iPad out. I was following the results that were coming in as we were watching MSNBC or somebody. So I had all this stuff going on, and I was looking a week ago, really and truly. I was like, I don't think Biden's going to pull this out. There was just some. It could have been PTSD from 2016.
Well, and also just the PTSD of 2020 itself. I mean, and it was brought up in the Twitch chat earlier, but yeah, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. 2020 just keeps. It gave us one thing of great, one thing of good, and then it was like, don't get too excited, don't get too happy.
I gave you a moment.
Yeah, I gave you a moment. So it really was like, it's 2020, anything can happen. So it was really just...
Yeah, and 2021's gonna...
And it was much closer than
it should be?
It
should be.
Which is scary in itself. So, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is like some states went or are going blue that Arizona and Georgia, even though Georgia was up, 10, 15,000 or something. Arizona's up. No, Georgia's up 20,000. Mm-hmm. I think Arizona's also up 20,000. So Arizona keeps going down. Georgia's going up. But these are 2 states. Even if Trump comes back and wins these states, these are 2 states that are that had a lot more blue votes than normal.
Which is
I feel really good about that. Thank you, Stacey Abrams in Georgia. Please reproduce that throughout the South.
And for the Senate, for the runoffs.
Yeah, and so Georgia, oh God, can the Democrats please show up in January for those 2 runoffs?
Who can do it?
So, all the Trump voters, they're having a bad day. 2020 continues to shit upon them, but this is a good thing for the world.
But at the end of the day, yeah, it's gonna be better for everybody.
Thing is, though,
an adult is in charge.
Yeah, but we've lost the Supreme Court for a generation or 2 now, though.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna be a rough one, but
it is, because I feel like you can kiss a woman's choice goodbye, and
ironically,
yeah, and you can also kiss marriage equality goodbye.
You know what? Then we need to then follow what the women in Poland did with that. Their court or whatever was going to make abortion completely illegal, and basically all the women in Poland, they stopped working, they started protesting, they were like, we're not going to do shit until you reverse that.
Yeah.
And now the government's like, okay, we gotta
You know, the thing
we
is,
gotta take a look at this.
in this country, though, majority of the people are for choice, and a majority of the people are for marriage equality. And if you have what, in essence, is a minority of the population telling us that a woman does not have the right to choose, and two men or two women that love each other can't get married to each other, then we got a real problem.
Or two theys and thems, and
I know, right?
you know, like whatever.
You know what? If choice is overturned, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, I will be going on strike.
There will be so many lawsuits.
And then, because I live in Utah. Oh, but no, you can't lawsuit that, though. Because the Supreme Court has decided it.
But they've already decided Roe v. Wade is good. So if they decide it's not good, then you can go and fight it to get them to decide it's good again.
You'll need a new makeup at the court.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. And so, since I live in Utah, I will probably be fired because I go on strike. And so...
yeah, right to work state.
I'll be going to live with your parents.
And this is politics with Cosmos. This is politics hour.
We've gone from Skittles to politics.
And Leia. And look at the big Leia tongue. I know, you can't have
She blends into the background, though.
She does. She just her beady eyes coming through. We would love to come to Oregon, Katie. I saw something on Twitter. It was a few days ago, and I don't know if the accuracy of it, but the Trump voters saying if Biden wins that they would move to Canada, and I'm like, go to Canada where you have universal health care, weed is legal, everything you're opposed to, Canada's got.
Yep. They got it before us.
Yeah, and Jack makes point. Most of the justices are ancient for the Supreme Court. That's why they shouldn't have lifetime appointments.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, Biden said that he is going to create a commission that's bipartisan, as it should be for something like this.
Oh, yeah. The checks and balances, even though the Supreme Court gave themselves the power, gave themselves the power to determine constitutionality. No real check on them, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Biden's not going to pack the court, though. He's not going to pack the court. I wish he would pack the court. What?
Said like McConnell and all them pack the courts.
Yeah.
To their favor.
But it's funny how like all the conservatives, here's the thing. They're like, yeah, if Biden wins, if Trump wins, all the liberals are going to be pouring out into the streets with their guns and just rioting and basically burning the country down. And I was like, well, first of all, most of us liberals don't have guns.
I was like, Sam,
second of all,
with all the guns.
Second of all, we didn't do it 4 years ago.
Yeah, or like our kale and our oat milks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll just whip you with that.
Yeah, but look, 4 years ago, what did we do? We had the million moms march or something like that 4 years ago when Trump won.
Yeah,
and so that's our protest. We'll go out into the streets peacefully and do it.
Mm-hmm. Jack says justices can be impeached if they demonstrate lack of knowledge. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. That could come in handy because the most recent one, doesn't have a whole lot of experience.
She has she has no experience on the court.
Yeah,
she has very limited experience.
Yeah, like she doesn't have anywhere.
Most of her stuff is in academia, which is different. But the thing is, though, is I don't think you can point to those 9 justices, whether they are progressive or not, and say that they don't have the knowledge. So I don't think that's going to work.
Well, I don't know. You can say because the Supreme Court is determining constitutionality, so it's like Obama being a constitutional lawyer, he would have more knowledge and experience than Amy Barrett Cohen or whatever her name is, who's just appointed. Like she doesn't have any. I mean, if you're a judge, then you should have experience significant experience trying cases in the courtroom, and you should have
or at least in a courtroom,
whether
it's as a judge or a lawyer.
It's like to become a certified teacher, you have to go through student teaching. You have to actually be in the classroom and being a part of that environment. And even when you come out of student teaching, it's not until after your first 2 years in the classroom that you really are like, okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. If we did impeach them, we're going to need, and let us assume that we lose both races in Georgia. We need to have roughly 19 other senators join us to impeach, and it's just not going to happen. And so impeachment...
No, because she gives the religious right, everything.
Yeah,
right,
so impeachment in theory is something that, we can go, yeah, we could do that, but
in practice,
reality,
yeah, I know,
we just can't do it.
But...
and let's be fucking honest for a moment. If one of the justices, really two of the justices, can sexually assault somebody and still get on the court,
two of them,
then what makes us think that that we can impeach any of them? We can't. If this country is so fucking ass backwards that it's insane. I can't believe it.
But let's look at the positive, because Biden's president now. So first of all, and I realized this last night when I saw some tweet, but that means Betsy DeVos out of here on U.S. Department of Ed. That is fantastic. So you get all these corrupt ass shitty people that are going to be on their way out, and that is so good and so relieving.
Yeah, and
no more fucking Ivanka, no more Jared Kushner and whatever the fuck he has experience in.
I do want to give Jared Kushner props for one thing. I know, right? I read today that he is him and Melania are both working on Trump, saying, you've lost the election, you need to concede.
Really?
Yeah. So Jared is having those conversations. That's the only prop I'll give him. It's the only one. That's all I can say. So.
Yeah, and Jack makes a good point now. This is also a great new thing. Madam Vice President is no longer a fictional character. Veep, HBO.
Yep.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus was the first fictional. Was she the first fiction? She was the first fictional. But yeah, Kamala Harris now, and this is great. This is a wonderful thing. This is absolutely phenomenal, especially since it's not it is a woman of color that is the first VP of this country, and it really represents what this country is and who this country is for. However, and it's amazing that, yes, it is 100 years from when women first got the right to vote, which is amazing. But what's also amazing is how it took 100 years from women being able to vote for a woman to become vice president.
Ascend to the vice presidency.
So, it just is while these things are so amazing and historic and great and it's about time, but it's about time, and it shouldn't have taken this long, and it just shows that we really do have a lot of work to do in this country for not just equality but equity, and this is a step in the right direction. It's another step towards the ideal of what America should be and what the American dream is, where it really isn't just for white families with a white picket fence and a dog and 3 kids, but it is for all colors and races and genders and everything that's out there. We just have so much work to do, and I think that there are clearly, as I think this election has unfortunately showed, there are so many people still out there in our country that are so scared of different people and different cultures of the other. You know, I mean, this was a historic election in the terms that really Democrats or liberals, people that are more progressive thinking, came out in record numbers to vote.
And
but the same
that's
is
true for everybody
but
too.
the same is true for the other side. You know, for those that are, you know, scared of the other, those that are blatantly racist or just are leaning more towards those sort of racist bias that have been, you know, inbred in them or whatever, or you know, those people that are not then scared of becoming the minority because they know how the minority has been treated in this country, you know. But that is, I don't know where I was going with this. I lost it. It was so passionate and whatever. But you know what I'm saying? It's there's a lot. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
It's a long road. It's a long road, and I think that for right now, I am hopeful. I am excited for January 20th. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen in the next 75 days.
A lot of lawsuits are going to happen, and a lot of lawsuits. I'm going to go and say pretty much most of them, if not all of them, will be thrown out. But a lot of lawsuits.
99% of them.
A lot of rage tweeting.
But right now, there's a lot of hope. And I'm going to, and we all need to do this, we need to hold Biden true to his word. And it's not like I'm worried that right now that he's not going to do this. But he has said that his cabinet is going to be a reflection of America. His administration is going to be a reflection of America. And so, well, you better have some people of color on there. You better have women on there.
Right.
You better have LGBTQ on there. But it sounds like, you know what, for the first time, we might get a woman Secretary of Treasury. We might get a woman Secretary of Defense. And, you know, I've realized that these are just kind of like little baby step kind of things, but these are things that should have happened a long time ago. It's not just men who know how to handle money or the quote unquote art of war. You know, women can blow shit up too. So,
yeah, we can blow shit up.
So,
yeah, we can blow shit up.
And really and truly,
and we'll do it with a lot of sass.
The Secretary of Defense though doesn't blow shit up though, but they, but you know they, whatever. But anyway, you know I'm hopeful, and we'll see what happens the next 4 years. That is if we survive the next 74 days. But Trump's just gonna blow us all up. He's gonna go to war with somebody in the next 74 days.
Well, let's hope not.
I wouldn't put it past him. Would not put it past him.
No.
So it's good to see that Hangover with Cosmos went all politics.
My mom asked, does the Congress have anything to say who his cabinet is?
Yes.
Yes.
They Biden will say this is who I want to be in my cabinet, and the Senate approves them.
Yeah. Which is really important of why we especially want to try and win the Senate back with this runoff in Georgia.
Yeah, but the cabinet will be prior to the runoff in Georgia, I think.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So we'll see what happens.
Just kidding. But we still want to win.
The Senate has to approve. The Senate has to approve.
Yeah.
And now it's a simple majority that the Senate has to approve.
Yeah.
And eventually, Mitch McConnell is going to come around and say, okay, Biden is the president. And he's going to start working with Biden. And so I think confirmation on a lot of these secretaries is going to go through pretty nicely. Because you know what? Like somebody was saying last night on something that we were watching, Biden is not going to be your radical left president.
Yeah, I mean, he's a
centrist
moderate.
He's
a
moderate.
You know, but radical left compared to Trump.
Yeah.
You know, like a sane individual with intelligence and rationale and the word that I never have, tact. I think it's just a it's a relief that there's somebody who knows what they're doing, who knows the game of politics, who also does genuinely seem to care and is in government for the reason of public service and not just to make money off lobbyists or whatever. And that somebody who can, I think, and what I'm really hoping for is that Biden will be able to get the GOP to work with him. And I think that it was a problem, or less hopeful, it was harder for maybe Obama to get the GOP to work with him because Obama was black. And that was just this whole huge racist issue of we're not going to work with him at all and we're going to try and oppose everything he does kind of thing where, unfortunately Biden, I think that he's going to be able to get them to work with him.
Yeah. You know what I'm really liking? What I've been hearing this year from the Democrats is Democrats are not shying away from saying there is systemic racism in America. That they are not shying away from these terms that 4 years ago would have never been said.
The terms that are like, oh, you'll never get elected if you use these terms. Those terms you have to shy away from in order to get the votes. So
Trump has ripped off the Band-Aid hiding racism in America.
Because he's emboldened it and his whole...
Yeah, but also the fact that he has ripped it off is allowing us to say... hey, there is systemic racism in America. And this needs to be freaking addressed. Yeah. And it needs to be addressed now. That, like you were saying the other day, you can't pull yourself up by your bootstraps if you have no bootstraps. Or
the resources to make bootstraps. Or boots.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I love... that we're talking about this. Is going to be a difficult conversation, but I hope 4 years from now that the people in my life that I know or are pretty sure voted for Trump, that I love dearly, can come around and say, and not be so scared and whatever, but. I don't hold hope in that.
someone close to me in my life I thought was going to vote Trump and did not vote Trump, but did not vote Biden either. However, did not vote Trump, and that was pretty shocking. And
that's a step.
And it was nice. It was nice to hear. Don't get away, Mom.
So I think Trump has exposed a lot of people, and I think in 4 years. Seriously, right now, I see people who voted for Trump. God, I hate saying this though. I really hate saying this, having said what I just said, as racist, and they need to be called out. And now I think the left needs to call them out for who they are and say this is not acceptable. And for some of us who have lived in a closet, you now need to go live in a closet, and you need to fucking stay there and close the door and don't ever come back out.
But the difference is some people were born in the closet, and some people chose to. That's bad. You get what I'm saying? I know where you're going with this because we discussed this. Yeah, I know. We
talked about this yesterday. The other day. So, a lot of people in this podcast are seeing. Just today, the conversations that you and I have, just sitting on a couch.
This is really just like
we're cooking dinner.
This is like Mike and Liz's neighborhood. This is just our normal day-to-day life, and what we talk about. Because Brandon's not here.
Yeah. So you know what? I think we should. Go ahead and call it a day.
Yep. I think this was good. This was fun. Little hangover politics.
Hangover politics.
Cosmos with Cosmos.
So part 1 was Skittles. Part 2 was politics.
Skittles and politics. What a great weekend.
Skittles and politics with Mike and Liz. A new podcast. Here on whatever.
No. we'll be back to our
Brandon, you're out.
Yeah, get out of here, Brandon. We'll Oh, Jack says it's like chatting with Mike at a conference. Yeah, it's just yeah.
That's true. Minus the Skittles. I don't think
Mike.
we ever talked about Skittles, but we did talk about politics.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us and hanging out. We will see you in a couple weeks with the future of space policy, I assume. Or we'll be back with more Skittles. Also, well, we will have to get back with more Skittles because we got follow-ups.
Yes, we do. We
got follow-up math.
Thankfully, I wrote it down because I already forgot.
Good. Yeah, I already forgot too. Jack's the only one that's gonna remember, and he's gonna hold us to it. Anyway,
all right.
You guys have a great afternoon, and we will we'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you in a couple weeks. Bye, everybody. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Bye.